Hi, welcome back to the channel, Lex Kane's TV and movie reviews. Today we're doing a spoiler review on Loki, the series that was just finished on Disney Plus. If you've not seen the series yet, um, I would recommend you watch it because all the latest Marvel films now are going to be linked to the Loki series. So come back after you've watched the whole 6 episodes and then you can watch the spoiler review. 3, 2, 1. Spoiler review beginning now. Well, the Loki series begins where we left off at Endgame, where the New York Loki from the first Avengers movie takes the Tesseract cube and goes through a vortex, and then all of a sudden he lands back in time somewhere. It looks like it's Egypt or somewhere in a hot country, and he's trying to do his Loki tricks. Doesn't work out for him, and all of a sudden these people come from this time, like time corridor, like a door through time, and they said it's the variants. Let's take him away. And he says, do you know who I am and all this? And he tries to see if he can use his powers. They have some kind of device which freezes, slows down time, and just take him out. Then we come to this place called the TVA. TVA. Gotta get that right. TVA. And he gets to this place called TVA, and it's all to do with time, multiverses, and parallel timelines and alternate timelines. And they say we've got him and all this, blah blah blah, and they interrogate him, and he goes to these different rooms. They put him into a prisoner's uniform, and then our main character, who's played by Owen Wilson, is a time agent, and he wants him for a specific reason. He wants him to join his team, and he's basically at the end of the first episode. He says, Loki asks, "Who is the variant then?" "It's you." And Loki's looking very puzzled, thinking, "How can there be another one of me?" And then in episode 2, they explain about the multiverse. There's different Lokis, different versions of him from parallel timelines, alternate timelines. So that's why they call them the variants. And they said the timekeepers, we've got to erase these people from time. Even people that are innocent, they erase them from time. And they say they're stopping the next dictator or something like that. And they stop them. And then Loki goes on his first time venture with the TVA with Owen Wilson's character. Um, and then they think they're in this timeline where there's a tavern there, and they find out they're not. It's the 1980s. They're just doing a festival thing, and they're all speaking all like Shakespearean type language, but they're just people that dress up for like a historical day. And then the the time variant is there and grabs one of the soldiers, TVA soldiers, and the team of TVA people come in, and they've the variant's been there. So Loki and um, Owen Wilson's character go into this archive room, and everywhere's saying be quiet and all this. He's looking through what Loki would do, and you begin to see Loki's changing slowly, beginning to change, transition, because he knows he can't go back. He's now fixed on whatever his destiny is. So he says, of course, how can I be so stupid? Ragnarok. And he said, that's already happened. And he explains to him, Ragnarok happened, Asgard's gone. And you get to see Loki showing very human emotion. He gets that's like teary eye. And he said, well, not. And then he gets back to himself and says, well, if it's not that, then my alternative version could be doing this, because I know how he thinks, he or she, or if he's like some form of thing, because they say he or she, and because it's an alternative timeline. So he said, let's go to Pompeii, because I remember going there one time or something. He said I'd been there or something. So he goes there, they go back in time. He says, we'll wait until the disaster happens. There's a comical scene. He says, goats be free, and he's letting all the animals be free, because he knows the Pompeii's going to be gone within minutes. And he said, oh, and he realised they're on something. They've got a fairy going, but their variant's not in Pompeii. But they've got their fairy right now. They go to a point in time where the variant goes to some place in a timeline where a disaster happens, or it's coming to like a big end of the world type thing. So they said, we think we found the variants, and they find out one of the people's is there, and they go to like far into the future on Earth, somewhere in the late 21st century, I think it is. If I'm wrong, put it on the comments below. So what happens next is you go into the shopping mall and you see all these people. They're all getting shelter because it's raining, it's storming, and Loki shows off his powers. All the variant team are all the clothes are soaked in water, and Loki just uses powers to just hair dry and dry his clothes straight away. And Loki notices something straight away. Something's not right. And he says, I think he has this feeling that the alternate version of him is here, or she is here. And he sees one of the people acting just strangely and talking like Loki, but not Loki's like Shakespearean type accent he has. And what happens is they have a bit of a banter, and he says, "Sorry, I'm not like you. I've changed, and I've got." And he said, "We could be rulers of this world." So Loki's winding up the person. Really, he's just stalling for time, and all of a sudden, the person touches someone else, and that person drops. So this Loki has this power where he can control people's minds, and makes them want them to do what the Loki wants to do. And then there's a bit of I think there's a bit of a fight scene, if I can't remember, it's like vaguely, and then goes down. Then all of a sudden we see this shadowy figure, and he says, "Come." He's basically, you can tell I don't know if he says it, but it looks like he says it with his eyes. "Come out, whoever you are." And then, lo and behold, the Loki reveals. The variant reveals the face. And it's a woman Loki. And she's got a different name. I think it's Sal. If I got that wrong, I got it wrong. But for now, I'll just call her Lady Loki because, and it works because she's from another timeline, alternate timeline. So like like there's a show called Sliders where they go to parallel universes where people are different and look different, act different, maybe the same person but they act different. So they have a banter and he's just frozen. He doesn't know what to do. She's got all these like these time like time bombs, but they're going through time, and she's making all different variants happen. Um, and all they go we go back to the TVA, and all of a sudden you see on the screen it's like got like a 1950s 60s type TV screen, and it's showing you all of the lines of time are all messing up, and basically they think our Loki, is turned bad because he runs away, but he's running to get that other Loki. So he goes through what timeline she goes through, and they think the TVA thinks he's turned, and that's episode 2. And episode 3, they go to this. I think they're on. I think it's another planet. Not too sure. I don't know if it's Earth, but it looks like it's another planet. It seems like this planet. It's at its last legs because it's like an end of the world scenario. Um, so Loki you finds the other Loki, and basically there's a bit of a fight goes on, but then all of a sudden they team up, and basically they've got to get off. The story is to get off this planet as fast as they can, and Loki goes in disguise as a soldier who's like a prison stroke soldier that takes the other Loki in custody. So they get on the train for free, and there's people queuing off to get off this planet on this train. So the train is leading to go to this spaceship to get off the planet, and we get to know her backstory. We get to know a bit more of Loki. Loki's mellowing. He is turning good. This is the episode where he is turning good. This is not the Loki that we've known. The Loki from the other timeline of himself took a long time to turn good because we saw that in Ragnarok. He was slowly changing, but he was still mischievous, still wanted to do his own thing. In Infinity War, we got to see that he was concerned for his brother, his half brother Loki. I mean, half brother Thor. So that took a long time for that to happen. Ever since he knows he can't go back because that timeline of him has finished, he's in a new branch timeline because he's got to stay in this time bubble. And in episode 3, we've got a new Loki. He's slowly changing. You can tell he's singing with the people on the train, and the other Loki says, "What are you doing?" Oh, well, I want to. It's a long journey. Basically wants to make friends, sing songs. He sang songs in Asgardian, and it was really good episode. And then all of a sudden, the security recognizes these people should be on the train. So basically, they get thrown off the train. I think they get either thrown off or they throw off themselves off the train. And then basically, they run out of time. They've got to run. They run down this area of this town. They're running, and then they come to the rocket site. Bang! The rocket's gone. It's exploded. the whole planet is just gonna go. And then in episode 4, it all comes to what the main story is about. Um, the timekeepers, and we find out that the timekeepers are not the timekeepers. So the alternate timeline version of Loki says, she says at last I can get my revenge on these timekeepers. They start attacking the timekeepers, and we found out one of the major villains. She's sort of a villain. Is Owen Wilson's um, friend who plays Owen Wilson's character's friend in the story. We find out that she's got a bit of a backstory, and she wants to keep the timekeepers happy. She hasn't even seen the timekeepers, but has an inkling of something that's going on. But she wants the power, like, you know. And they're fighting the soldiers, self-defense, and Loki there in that scene has turned good, and the other Loki sort of she's sort of changing in this scene, and then all of a sudden they fight the timekeepers, and you see them, the other Loki slicing the heads off the timekeepers. And when I first thought, oh no, this looks going this, then all of a sudden you see these sparks on where the head's being decapitated, and the robots, basically robots. So they're not the real timekeepers, and it's amazing how they did that. Big budget. They spent money on this show. Every episode was like a movie. It's just the way they done it was just amazing. Way they pieced together, and then we got a post-mid credit scene. Sorry that this image just came on straight away, and we get to see what happens to the variants. Going back to what happens with Loki is Loki gets vaporized, because what they do is erase people from time. But what we find out is when we get to the mid-credit scene, they're not straight away erased from time. Some of them are in hiding, as you can see with these 3 characters, and you can tell here, Richard E. Grant, he plays Classic Loki. That's the nickname they've given, Classic Loki. He comes from another timeline. We get to see this like sort of fighting type Loki, and he's got Thor's hammer. And apparently the story there is we get to see them here. And we got another Loki here in alligator form. So I don't know how that works. Basically, I think they got that from Spider-Man in the Multiverse, where we had Spider-Pig, and now we got Loki as an alligator, or crocodile Loki. I don't know if he's a crocodile or alligator. And then we got a Loki who's a child, and he's apparently older than he looks, and wiser apparently. And basically, you can see this is where all time has been erased, but it's in this bubble, in this place. But if they meet their demise, they're completely erased from time. So that was when we saw our Loki. I thought, oh no, he's gone. What are we going to do here? do we go back in time and get that Loki back? And then the mid-credit scene just explained everything. It was a really good idea how they done the mid-credit scene. Top marks from the producers who've kept this under wraps. Um, as you know, it was supposed to come out in 2020, but due with the pandemic and stuff going on, I think it was a good idea that they delayed it and they spent more time on the effects. And then we go to episode 5, where we see the other variants of Loki. This is where all the other Lokis come. The other Lokis that have been erased from time. So, see, this is a Loki here. There's an alternative version of Tom Hiddleston's Loki, where I think he was from a comic book where Loki wanted to be a politician, but he was, mental, like mad and all that. And you can see all the different versions of Loki teamed up with Vote for Loki. That's what they call it. So the fight, it's a bit like that was like a futuristic type story. Also, Owen Wilson's character, I forgot to mention in the previous episode, his friend who is in the TVA erased them from time, zapped them. But we find Owen Wilson's character in this place, and he somehow gets a car, and the other Loki goes on trial, and then the main character, who's sort of a villain, tries to make a deal with her, and it's a trap. So what she does is she tries and calls the security, so she gets the poker eraser stick and erases herself from time, and finds herself at this place where all the Lokis are. And basically, one of the Lokis, the one who's dressed like a Viking, has turned on the other Lokis and has teamed up with Vote for Loki. That's why I'm calling him Vote for Loki. And the other Lokis, alternative Lokis. And what happens is then there's a big major fight. Look, our Loki doesn't want to get involved because it's utter madness. And when before the fight happens, he's going up. He says, "If you're not going to help me get out of this place, I want to do it myself." So he goes up the ladder. He beats himself, and he goes, "Oh, come on!" And when he looks at his alternative self, which looks the same but acts like the old Loki, he now learns that why was I like that all along? Because then he's turning good now, our Loki, and basically our Loki's hostage in this situation, and they're all fighting for this throne, this room with a throne, which just makes you laugh about it. So this is just an armchair, and this little games room they've got and stuff that they've got, and popcorn machines and that, and they're basically fighting for a throne, just one throne, for a kingdom of nothing really. And basically there's a big fight, comical fight, and the Vote for Loki meets us as a nasty injury from I think it's the crocodile or alligator Loki, and he eats his hand. I hear him scream like a girl. It's really fun. And that our Loki this is his chance to escape, so he goes. Then the other Lokis follow him, the other two, and they've changed their mind, and they're saying, "We're going to help you now." And basically he said, "There's this creature that's made out of smoke." And have you ever seen the film? Probably some of you may have not seen it. Starring Leslie Nielsen. It's a serious sci-fi film called Forbidden Planet, and it's like this creature, sort of made out of smoke as well. And there's this creature. If you go in it, you're erased from time. You are gone. Your time, your version of who you are is gone. And basically, Owen Wilson's character and the other Loki, the variant Loki, they all meet up and they say we've got to have a plan. We've got to have a plan to do this. He says, and they want two Loki says, I don't we'll come walk halfway with you, but we can't come because we're afraid of getting erased from time. But the other Loki, the young Loki, he looks young, but he's a lot older than you think. Gives Loki a sword. Said, "You need this, then. You need this more than me." So he gives him a sword, and Loki uses his powers to make a sort of backpack for the sword to go in, and somehow they find a way. They find some way to get a time door open for Owen Wilson's character. He says, "I'm gonna fix this fix this problem. I believe that now some something else is in control." And then our Loki then says, "You gotta tell people that you know these people have been the TVA people have been taken out of time because I forgot to mention in the previous episodes the variant Loki, she explains to our Loki that she's got this power where she can touch people's minds, and she found out that these people's minds have been erased and been away from TV, and someone bigger is involved in this. And Owen Wilson's trying to find out who, and he's going to find out from his friend, is she involved? And he goes back in, and basically in the penultimate episode, which is episode 5 of season 1, all of a sudden classic Loki appears and uses his powers and makes a vision of he makes a whole vision of Asgard. It's an amazing shot how they've done this. So he's trying to distract the smoke creature away. Basically, it's a guard dog guarding something else. And then Loki and the variant Loki get in, but sadly, classic Loki is erased from time. He's gone, finished, and we're never going to see that character again unless because the multiverse of Doctor Strange. You never know; he might come back. But good character, and then you get used to this character, and you get meets his demise. And then we see the two Lokis go in to this doorway, and they see, and then they're walking through, and they see the shape of a building, and it cuts to the credits, and then to our finale. Oh yeah, this is the picture here. I forgot to mention. This is the picture that where they all team up. But then classic Loki says, "I can't help," and then the last minute he helps out in the end. So that's the picture from that. Now, this is a bit like Wizard of Oz in a sense. This episode, they get to see this castle, and all of a sudden they see all the timeline lines, and it's amazing how they've done it. Like amazing how they've done this, and then basically it's a bit like Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain, and the set is amazing. There's like charcoal with gold bits in and stuff like that. It's an amazing shot, amazing how they done it. I don't know how they did it, but it's incredible. So they go in, and you can tell by the variant Loki, she's got in her mind, "I'm gonna kill whoever this is." But our Loki wants to find out who he is, what's this all about? What are you the timekeeper and all this? He wants to ask him questions, and basically the character here, he's got an addiction to apples because I don't know how many apples you've eaten in the episode, but he's got an addiction to apples, and he explains how he says, if you kill me, I'll come back, and they're looking at that. But if you let me step down, because I've been in this job for centuries and centuries and centuries, he's talking about like this. Then you can take over. You can be the TVA. You can be the head of the TVA. You can tell them what to do. Also, I can put you back to the events before, and you can kill Thanos. You can do this. You can do that. He's telling the variant Loki, I can do this. I can do that. And then Loki thinks about it, and you notice Loki's changed within these 6 episodes. He goes, no. He does. You can tell very straight away. He doesn't say no, but you can tell on his face straight away, I'm not doing it. And the variant Loki's the same. Don't want to do it, but she's got more intentions in mind when the episode progresses. He pours out a cup of coffee. They sit down. They hold the sword on the seats. Basically, he talks about, there's different versions of me, different variants. Some good, some bad, some even worse. And some are conquerors. And I went straight away from, I know what this is. I know what this is, because I've seen the Avengers cartoons. I've not read the comics, but I knew the Avengers cartoons in the mid-2000s when it was on. I think it was 2005 or 2008. Avengers Assemble cartoon. I said it's gotta be, and basically what happens? The two Lokis have a fight, but our Loki doesn't want to fight. He's got feelings for this Loki, and he says, "Don't do it. I know what you're thinking of. I've done this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm a different person now. I'm making my own destiny. I'm now a changed." He says, he says he's basically a changed man, even though we know he's from Asgard and he's lived forever. He's now, if Thor could see him for one last time, Thor would be so proud of his half brother that he's changed. He's become more like a heroic person, even though he's still got faults. He's become more heroic, and they have a fight, and then she finds some kind of remote which sends our Loki back into the TVA, and then the variant Loki stabs this person, this variant of other versions of this person. She stabs in, and he said, "I'll see you soon." And he wasn't bothered that he was going to die. Then our Loki is very depressed. He wants to do the right thing. He's still got good intentions in his heart. He runs to meet our characters, and going back to Owen Wilson's friend's character, they go. One of the other major characters, who's a soldier, goes to this timeline to go to this other TVA soldier and tells him, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here because you broke the laws and all this." And she explains, "Wait here a minute." All of a sudden, Owen Wilson's friend's character comes in. They're in a school. She's a school teacher and goes, "Who are you people? What are you doing here?" Then we find out that the theory is true. Loki's theory is true. Whoever this person is, but we're going to reveal in a minute. Whoever this person is has erased these people's minds to work for him as basically his servants, to to manipulate time and space. And then we roll back to her future version, which where her memory is wiped. And she said, if my memory has been wiped, I'll find out. So she's safe in time because she's gone back. She's gone through time. So she's not affected what's going to happen now. So going back, Loki runs back and says, "We've made a mistake. We've made a mistake. My other version's done something bad. Um, we're all gonna be doomed now. And this person's got so many versions of him, and he just wants to conquer. And all of a sudden, Owen Wilson's character goes, 'What division are you from? Who are you? Who are you?' That timeline has been rebooted. It's now an alternative timeline. While Owen Wilson's friend's character has gone back somewhere in time, I think she's safe. Her memories, even though her memories have been wiped, she's beginning to remember who she is. And then Loki is shocked what he sees next. What he sees next is Kane the Conqueror. This is Kane the Conqueror. He is now here. And he doesn't know what to do. Leaves on a cliffhanger. And I was going, I hope this is not the final ever episode. We found out there's some good news. There's been rumours as well that Loki could be the end of the Spider-Man movie, but is definitely in Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse of madness. He's definitely in that. And if you remember, there's a trailer where he says glorious and he's wearing his Loki costume. It could be linked to this. Season 2 is happening. Maybe that episode of Season 2 has been filmed because we never got to see him say glorious, and he was wearing like a different type of Loki type costume that he wore in the first episode. Is from Avengers. So basically, it's all coming to shape now. If you watch this, then you'll understand what's going to happen with the next Spider-Man film. We know now it's going to be No Way Home means the multiverse. The X-Men timeline is now going to be in there. We've got news rumoured that Hugh Jackman is now playing Wolverine in this alternative timeline now of the multiverse. What they're saying is the film Logan, that Wolverine did die, but because there's a new timeline, multiverse, and all this happening, there's an alternative Wolverine out there played by Hugh Jackman. Maybe he's going to wear the full costume with the mask, which would be great to see. Hugh Jackman playing an older Wolverine, because basically Wolverine in the comic books was slightly older. So, great, because then we can have a Wolverine film, maybe Wolverine versus the Hulk, which is, being planned for a very long time. They wanted to do it like based on the comic book. We got a cartoon short film of that, which is a good one. And basically a live action version of Spider-Man into the multiverse, which is called Spider-Man No Way Home. It makes sense because then the Sinister Six will happen now because they got the rights to make this multiverse thing. So the multiverse is going to be part of the movie franchises now. Going to be part of Loki. So all keys in now. Fantastic Four going to be in there as well, which is great. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Also, please look at my Helping Friends video blogs. I'm helping people that I know, people I've known, and people who I don't know as well. I'm shaving all my hair off. I'm going to be completely bald. I'm doing it for charity, for Macmillan Cancer, so they can get funding for their charity, what they do, which is great work. So take care, subscribe to the channel, and see you soon on the next Lex Kane's TV and movie reviews. Take care.